go right to the back end of it and get the most expensive one here.
And as Corey goes through this, remember, this is in the trenches right now. So you guys might be watching this and you might be thinking, oh, I'm not interested in Florida. But what we want to show you guys is the process, and this can be applied in all of the counties wherever you go. So it's about becoming versatile and being able to sometimes do some boring stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it might not be glamorous, but this non-glamorous could lead to a great payday where you can make some money, flip one of these, and then go do the glamorous dinner, the glamorous cruise. So it's a lot of the kind of boring work that leads to these big outcomes. And that's really why a lot of people fail, is everybody wants like big razzle dazzle or the big crypto pump, and it doesn't work. So this stuff is a day in the life of being a tax lien and deed investor, getting familiar with the data, getting familiar with these processes, and then striking when the iron is hot. So once again, welcome everybody. Put your name, where you're from, and let us know what you've been doing for liens and deeds. Last week, we had a guy just diving in while we were going. So let us know what type of action you're taking, because we want you to be accountable to actually doing this stuff. So what do we have here, Corey?
Yeah. So I actually missed an important step of changing the base map from street, which you can see doesn't really tell you very much, to aerial. It might be called something different depending on what county you're in, but this gives you like, okay, now I can actually see what's going on here. So this is actually the $12,000 lien here. I'm going to copy this other one. It looks like it's actually, these are all the same parcel numbers, which is very interesting. So this is where it would get tricky, where we need to dive into title a bit to get a bit more information. But this is the strip of land. Let's see so it's the same thing, which is very fascinating. So it's actually just this back half. It looks like there's maybe power lines and some trees on it. So you're not actually getting this property, which could be confusing if the address was this address itself, which it actually might. Let's see here. If you didn't know any better. So property address is NA. So that's good, because it doesn't give you the complete wrong impression in the beginning. But you can see here, it says market value 141,000, which may or may not be true. They might be going off the market value of this house or this property. I would imagine in Miami-Dade County, they're probably going, this little strip of land, like the square footage might be worth 141,000, but it is a weird square footage. Like it's not an equal lot. You're looking at a very thin rectangle, or I guess that's a rectangle, but something to consider. And then what we can do is we can actually click this here and then see it's actually pulling up these two pieces, which is very confusing. So we would do title work to determine the specifics of that. But you can see here the lot size, 20,000 square feet, which might be accurate, but that also might not be right as well. Or this is just a huge lot. It's just like stretched out, which you can't really build a house on that. So just very fascinating stuff that you'll find here. So just because something's cheap doesn't mean you should buy it without looking at it. And just because something is expensive doesn't mean you should buy it without looking at it. You should always be doing your research and seeing stuff like this. Honestly, we would avoid it, just because we can focus our efforts on other things. But if there's a piece of land like this and you're just getting started and it's like next to a highway or something that you're like, I wonder, could I sell this to anyone? Could I put a couple billboards on this? Like if it's a huge stretch along a highway and there's other stuff around it, like sometimes you might need to think creative like that, and it could be helpful, and there could be a use case for it, for you to sell it, or just like buy it and rent it out to something or someone. Or if there's I don't know if there's like windmills around, or if there's power lines that need to go through there, stuff like that. It might take a bit more work to get involved in that, and it might take a bit more, research. But if you're starting off with not a lot of capital to get going, or if you're like an expert in that field and you're just like an expert billboard putter-upper person, then that could be a great way to get into it as well, if you have a friend who is. But yeah, that's basically Lien Hub, and you can go through the different counties here and see what's there. And